Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. And the topic of today's video is, when will you hear from your ex? The million-dollar question. I've actually done several videos on this topic before where I mention 3 of the times that you will hear from your ex. So I'm going to go over those, and I'm actually going to add a 4th time that you may hear from your ex to this video. So stay tuned. In the meantime, I want to, of course, welcome back the No Contact Army. Have you been a good little soldier or a bad little soldier? And if you've been a good little soldier, then you've downloaded my app Silencio. And if you haven't, the link is below every single video. It will help you to stay in no contact. And if you too would like to join the No Contact Army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and you're in. And to read the No Contact Army manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before purchasing the book. Okay, so if you're in no contact, the one question you want to hear, or the one answer you want to hear, is, when will you hear from your ex? Of course, you want to know if you will hear from your ex. And then when I say yes, 90% of you will hear from your ex, the next question is, of course, well, when? So I talked about the 60-day rule in my video, the 60-day rule, and I will put the link in the upper right-hand corner on the video. And for those of you that are new to the channel and you haven't heard me talk about it before, basically it means that you are most likely to hear from your ex between days 45 and 60 of no contact, not days 45 and 60 after the breakup. It has to be of no contact. So if there was communication after the breakup, if you were in touch after the breakup, if you were begging and pleading, whatever, then you have to count from when you last had contact. And on between days 45 and 60, that is when you'll most likely hear from them. And that comes from the book Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Many of you have heard of it. And Dr. Pat Allen, a marriage and family therapist, came up with that concept because she realized that in his chapter on rumination, or in his, when he talks about rumination, Maxwell Maltz, the author of the book Psycho-Cybernetics, he said it takes people 45 to 60 days to come to a decision to do something, and she realized it also applied to hearing from an ex. So here we are, we have the 60-day rule. I also talked about Mercury retrograde, and that was in the video, the 2 times you're most likely to hear from your ex. And again, I will put the video link in the upper right-hand corner. And actually, when I'm making this video, it is Mercury retrograde, and this one seems to be especially strong because many people have said they've heard from their ex when it just started, and I've heard from a lot of guys from the past, and so it is a thing. I'm very surprised. Guys I hadn't heard from in like 6 months, 9 months, who had unfriended me, who I had unfriended, whatever, they're all popping up. So Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year for about 3 weeks. It's always a fun time when it pops up. So see if you do hear from your ex during Mercury retrograde. Of course, the best time would be for the 45 to 60 days to fall when Mercury retrograde is on, and then if you don't hear from your ex at that time, I would be very surprised. Now, the 3rd time you are most likely to hear from your ex is when you let them go on an energy level, because people that you've been close to, they can feel that you're still hanging on. They can just feel that you're thinking about them, or they just know because you're connected. And then it just seems that whenever you just let go, you start dating someone else, you focus on someone else or something else, and you just decide to put it behind you, poof, that's when they all of a sudden show up. It's like, oh, now you pop up, now that I had moved on, now that I'm not thinking about you anymore. Yeah, that's what happens. They can feel it, and so they figure, you know what, I better get back in there. And then finally, and this is the new one, the 4th time that I haven't mentioned before, the actual time when you will hear from them. Yes, I'm going to give you an actual time. It's going to be 12:01. Just kidding. No, it's going to be most likely in the evening, because in the success stories that I've posted, a lot of times people talk about the time when they heard from their ex, and usually it seemed to be around 11 p.m., midnight. And that makes sense because most people obviously work in the daytime, unless of course you have the night shift. And so you're busy in the daytime working, then you get home, you have dinner, you shower, you watch TV, la la la, whatever. And then around 11 o'clock, they have time to think about you and to miss you. I mean, they do it throughout the day too, obviously, if they're missing you. But now there's really nothing else to do at that hour, right? You've done everything. So you're kind of sitting there and they can think about you and the fact that maybe if you were still together, you would be over there and you would be cuddling and you'd be getting ready to go to bed. And now they look over on their side of the bed, on the other side, and they see that they're alone, and they start to rethink their decision and wonder, maybe I made a mistake. And so that's when they are most likely to reach out. And so I wanted to let you know about this because I don't want you to be surprised when the phone rings or when you get a text at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock and think, oh my God, maybe something's wrong. Maybe they want me back and they have to let me know right now, or maybe something happened. Maybe it's urgent. I need to answer. No, I'm warning you right now, as I've warned you in other videos. Do not pick up that phone. Do not pick up that phone. If it's important, which it most likely is not, they will leave a message. They will text. I had one of my clients that his ex did this. She called like 6-7 times in a row. So of course he got worried and thought, oh my God, something happened. I need to respond. So he finally picks up and she says, oh, hey, I just want to see how you're doing. He felt like such an idiot. So don't think that it's going to be something important. It most likely isn't. And you don't want to hear, oh, I'm just calling to see how you're doing. No, they're not calling to see how you're doing. They're surprised that you haven't tried to get them back. They're surprised that you disappeared. So they're calling to see what's going on. But of course, they're going to say, I called to see how you're doing. It's funny how after a breakup, suddenly everybody cares about how their ex is doing. They didn't care how you were going to be doing when they broke up with you, but now they haven't heard from you. Oh, suddenly they care about how you're doing. No. So be on guard, okay? And if the phone rings or if you see that text come in at night, do not respond unless it's something significant. And of course, I've done many videos on that, okay? So to recap again, the times when you are most likely to hear from your ex would be between days 45 and 60 of no contact, during Mercury retrograde, when you let go energetically, and finally in the evening, usually around 11 p.m. or midnight. So now I want to hear from you. Have you heard from your ex? And when during these 4 times have you heard from them? And did you respond, or was it not significant and therefore you didn't respond? Or if you did respond, what happened? And in the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, go to theartoflove.net. The direct link is below. If this video has been helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.